a 1-year-old saying applesauce, applesauce, applesauce,
Mhm.
and you got $3 in your bank account, what do you do?
Bro, I'm about to cry. Yeah.
Like that, I'm getting emotional thinking about it.
Yeah.
And he's pointing to the pantry.
Yeah.
And I have to decide, what am I going to do with these last $3? Am I going to go to the store and get him a pack of applesauce? Not because he deserves it, but he's won. Or do I take it and do I go put that last $3 in the gas tank? Your son pointing to the pantry saying applesauce, applesauce, applesauce. It's a constant reminder of what you don't have.
It plays with your mind.
And it plays on your mind. It messes
Yeah.
with your psyche. It messes with your nervous system.
Yeah.
It messes with your spirit. And, you know, if you're not in the right frame of mind, you start taking your frustrations out on the 1-year-old.
Yeah.
When all he wanted was just some applesauce. He's not nagging. He's not making fun of the situation. He doesn't know any better. He just wants applesauce.
Yeah.
And I couldn't afford to get my son applesauce.
We laugh, you know, at the prayer warriors. We call them the name prayer warrior, and it's funny. Or like, you know, the mothers of the church and stuff, and the people, they say, you better use your sword. You better use that word. I learned what that means.
Yeah.
I learned how to war for real. I had to learn scripture because when the enemy coming at me, that's all I had.
That's all you, yeah.
And especially when he's saying stuff that's kind of
That's
sort of
actually true. It's actually real.
You right. My accounts are negative. Lorian doesn't have any gigs coming in. I don't have any photography gigs coming in. So you right. I don't know when my next money's coming. So it do look like God has forsaken me. And you right. We ain't got nothing to eat.
We ain't got nothing.
So I'm gonna have to hit up this food pantry.
With me having to relearn, reprocess, rethink what sex was, that was like taking a part of my identity away.
Just because you may need to seek help or you may be in transition and things may not be right, it doesn't necessarily mean that your marriage is bad.
Marriage is a roller coaster ride that never ends.
From the twists of having children, to the turns of overly involved parents, or the highs of buying a new home, to the lows of unexpected lifestyle changes.
Marriage is dope, but let's be honest, fam. Marriage really be tiring.
Welcome to the Left Hand Gang podcast, hosted by Jazz and Spoon.
Yo, what's good, everybody? It is the Left Hand Gang.
What up, gang?
Hey, girl.
Hey, boy.
It's been a while. Since it's
a
been just
long
me and
time.
you.
Yes.
Like, we done had so many people on.
This is so weird to be back in here.
Right.
Just us.
Right. Not on the couch.
We should have just did the couch.
On the cool, we could have.
I just thought about that.
Yeah, but, you know.
Here we are.
Here we are. in the studio. Here we is. How you doing, wife?
I am doing well.
Yeah.
You know, just pregnant.
Growing
a baby.
Yeah.
Raising another one.
Yeah, third trimester. Here we go.
Next week, dog.
Yeah, home stretch.
Yeah.
Home stretch.
Wow.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm just pregnant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just pregnant. Yeah. Pregnant with purpose.
Oh.
No, I'm just
Come on, preacher.
no, not at all. You know, it's funny whenever I hear people say that. But I'm okay. I'm doing all right. I'm managing, stewarding the best way that I can, leading the house, and making progress on my dissertation. Making a lot of progress. Making progress. Yeah. So between that, navigating a new job. Yeah. We thank God for His graces there, and you know, the church. The transition. So, you know, I'm all right. Just juggling everything.
You're doing well, baby.
I appreciate that.
You're doing well.
You know, for you to say that I'm doing well, like, what does it look like for you to see me doing all this stuff?
I feel like you've asked me this before, or a similar question on one episode, but it is one, contributing to my peace.
Ooh.
Because I'm not seeing the head of my house in shambles and you walking around, running around with like a chicken with his head cut off, all over the place, unorganized and, unsettled. But you're doing it with grace. So it helps me to continue to do my job. Like, it's almost like, when you're a team and everybody's pulling their weight. So like seeing you pull yours helps me and encourages me to pull mine. And like I said, it gives me peace because I trust the God in you. And I also see, okay, you're okay.
Yep, I'm okay.
He's doing it. He's okay. Now, the moment you get out of line or you start tweaking, which you already know, I'm going to have some eyebrow raising moments. And
some questions.
That's going to impact, my mood and all that stuff. So it definitely helps.
I'm glad to hear that because, husbands, when you out here following God, you don't even know what you're doing. So it gives me peace in knowing that you like, he all right. Because I don't know if I'm all right or not. I'm just making decisions one day at a time and trying to figure out, all right, God, is this the right thing? Am I in alignment? Am I doing this right? And yeah, I'm always asking God questions. And the question is, am I doing it all right?
And I'm always praying, God, give him what he needs. God, help him to hear you. God, I pray that you keep him in alignment with you. God, I pray that you would protect him from temptation and his flesh. Like, those are the things that I'm praying. And so I guess seeing, it's like, I'm praying and then I look over and I'm like, okay, babe, he good. Like, and you thinking like, I ain't good. I mean, I'm good, but I don't really know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But God is answering my prayers, and yours too, because I know you're praying similar prayers.
Yeah. How you know? Okay.
You ain't gotta be talking.
I be forgetting, sometimes our wives be like Holy Spirit Jr. Man, so this is now episode 50.
That is wild.
Episode 50.
Yeah, that's really crazy.
Like
50, bro.
50.
We put out 50 of these. We did this 50 times.
50 times. 50.
That's edited 50 videos.
I did. Well, really more because there were like one or two that we had to like re-record that never got released.
Yeah.
But yeah, 50 episodes. And I think at one point in time, we were dropping an episode every single week.
How are we doing that?
I don't know.
I mean, we had more flexibility in our schedule than we do now, but still, like that.
Man. Yeah.
And at one point, you didn't even know what you was doing.
Oh, I still don't know.
You do.
I'm learning.
You know a lot more than you did when you started.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I don't know. I'm one of those guys that like I can learn anything, but I don't always know or learn the technical terms for stuff. So like I can't get in a conversation with the videographer, like a real videographer.
Or like troubleshoot for somebody by telling them what to do. Like you would be like, let me see.
Yeah, I gotta do it. I gotta do it because I don't know how to articulate it. I don't know the vocabulary of how to whatnot. Like I was. This is kind of funny, but Google University and YouTube University. I got
we all got degrees from that.
I got like 3 doctoral degrees. And I was looking up on how to do a certain thing with the videos and colors and blah blah blah, and they said something about a color log or not color log but color something, and they said something about you got to record in C log and blah blah blah. It's like, what is a C log? I don't know what that is. And so I just said, man, forget it. I'm gonna figure it out, and I did something else by myself. And somehow, some way,
it worked.
So I think it's one of those things where you just gotta just get in there, get your hands dirty, and just try.
I appreciate you because you had a lot more to start with than I did, and If it was up to me, baby, we wouldn't have made it to 50.
Wouldn't have made it to 50.
We'd be paying somebody.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah. I mean, I would have loved to pay somebody, but whew, man. But it was a learning opportunity, and it paid off. It definitely paid off being able to put out 50 episodes.
It did. It did. We learned so much within ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Our marriage grew. I even think about how in a way we documented our marriage and our life.
I never thought about that, but yeah.
And we have that to like listen to and to think back on.
Yeah.
But not only that, we also were blessed by the people who were blessed by the podcast. There were several people who listened faithfully, and there were people who, in different seasons of their lives, not just married couples, that really gained and gleaned from the podcast. And not just from you and I, but the guests that we've had on. We've had an opportunity to meet some really cool people and get closer to some people. That has been, this has been a journey, dude. 50 episodes. 50. Wow.
Which is insane. Yeah.
In a matter of almost 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Almost 2 years.
Fall would be 2 years, right?
So, I guess now like maybe 18 months. So a little less than 2 years.
Literally Kai's life.
You know what? Yeah. What? Nah. Because we were recording.
We recorded like 2 or 3 while
you were pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are some of the ones we had to go back and re-record. But either way, that's a lot. And it's been a dope journey to do 50 episodes.
Yeah.
I remember at one point in time, because you know how every year we do our our year-end review, and we, talk about the good, the bad, things we could have done better within our marriage every year. And one of the goals was to put out like 15 episodes in the year. And we're like doubled that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. I can't remember the number now, but I was looking at last year's because it's on my desk.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, we went well past that.
Yeah, we did. Speaking of which, man, I mean, we had this current season, we had a lot of good people on.
We did.
We had a lot of good people on.
We had a lot of guests, period.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, from my sister Heather.
Yeah, Heather.
A good Heather. My girl Heather. I said my good Heather. My sister Heather. Who else did we have? Jasmine and Joseph, Francis's.
Sika.
Yeah, Sika. Yeah, Sika's episode was really cool because I love talking about the cultural aspect of things,
Yeah.
Who else? Who else do we have on?
Rico and
Keisha. How in the world they got married in 3 months, bro?
And still here.
And 26
Baby still strong.
years later.
We got a double date coming up with them.
Yeah. 26 years later, they still rocking and rolling.
2 kids. They have a daughter-in-law now, so 3 kids, 2 grandkids.
2 grandkids. Running the church, leading the church. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Man, we had my brother, well, both of my brothers, but my brother Carrington. And Carrington he made everybody mad.
Yo.
He just.
Yo.
I love that dude.
People were like, excuse me?
Yeah.
From his episode.
Yeah, like who was it? Was it Mel?
Yes.
Listen to that episode like 3 or 4 times.
It was rich.
It was. He talked about a lot of good stuff, like, just go get your healing, bro. Like, quit playing. Go get your healing. Just go get it.
Just go get it.
Go get it. Oh man, my brother Preston and his wife Allie, the Deans.
Their story.
Yeah, man.
So beautiful.
From cancer, my boy had cancer and divorced, and they were, him and his now wife Allie, multiple miscarriages in between babies, and man, just such a beautiful story of God's grace and how he just sustained them. So that was really dope. We just had so many Good people.
We had the Francois. Was that this?
I don't know. I think that was last season.
Pregnancy brain.
Pregnancy brain.
You sure?
Yeah, I think so. I think they were last season.
I trust your memory over mine.
I think so.
I'm finna look.
But we can fact check it. I believe they
Uh,
were last season. Yeah.
they were?
Mm-hmm.
That was that long ago?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Uh-huh.
because we had the why can't I find their last name? Carlos, the Lions.
Yeah, Carlos and Brittany.
They were last season.
last
too?
season
Oh,
too.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
They were with them. You're right.
Yeah, they were last season. But still, it was still dope having them on. Yeah. Ah, man, and then the episode about the conference.
Yes.
That was really good.
Getting to go to that, man, life changing.
Yeah. And, they actually asked us to come back to come speak
Yeah.
at one of their other conferences.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a blessing. Definitely a blessing. And then I guess the final, not final, but previous episode, we had my sister Anna,
Mm-hmm.
my colleague / friend / sister, partner in crime, Aspen House Associates. Man,
I love Anna.
yeah, I love her too. And my brother Jordan,
Yeah.
yeah. And the stuff, we got real scientific, and well, we got real counselor,
Yeah.
real counselory, if that's even a word.
Not,
Nah,
but we'll take
it's
it.
cool. I just made it up. Counselory.
it's fine.
Deal with it.
Yep.
And talking about a lot of things revolving around sex, porn culture, just society as a whole, and how we see sex and sexuality, and how it intertwines with our faith and how it shapes our views. So, man, this season has been really, really good and just very different as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, many of y'all know that we've been having, we've been in a season, y'all. Y'all know that me and Jazz been in a season, and
Baby.
whew, we just want to thank y'all so much, man.
Yeah.
You guys who prayed for us, who financially poured into us and blessed us because of the hard season that we've been in. I just,
Yeah.
from the bottom of my heart, man,
Yeah.
much appreciated. So, how are you feeling, baby? Just about, where we are as we come toward what it seems like, the end of this hard season that we've been in.
To be able to even say it seems like we're coming to the end is in itself a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're going on almost 2 years. So about a year and a half. Would you? No, am I boosting?
Well, I mean, we in May, so maybe a year and a quarter.
A year and a quarter. Okay. And
June would be 18 months. Yeah. So we're coming in on a year and a half, actually.
okay. This has been the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And we're not completely out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I've explained to people recently, it feels like we can breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I can't ooh, and lay back and
Right.
kick my feet up,
Mhm.
but I can unbuckle my pants a little bit.
Just a little
When you eat and you get a little tight,
Mhm.
like you can at least breathe a little bit, and it feels. I feel grateful.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't feel fully like that whole it's about time, God. I don't
Yeah.
feel that. I
Mhm.
just feel like this humbling of thank you.
Yeah.
I have been praying for this, and God is really funny
Of
because
course.
he's not allowing it to just be boom,
Mm-hmm.
the door, I kicked it open
Mhm.
and y'all just won the lottery, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you just y'all both landed these dope jobs, and it just boom, everything is great.
Yeah.
He's not allowing it to happen that way right
Mhm.
now. It's a slow process, and excuse me. And so I think that's good
Yeah.
for it's not how I pictured it happening,
I mean,
but
who would have pictured it? like that?
but it's good. It's good for my faith. It's good for my humanity.
Mhm.
And it actually makes me think. I shared this on my story this past week, actually, or last week. I was reading, I've been studying Genesis, and I was reading about Noah and the flood, and I shared this with you, that I don't know how, when I was in Sunday school and Bible class or whatever with the kids, I just don't remember them telling me he was on the boat that long.
Yeah, he was on there for a minute.
I just knew dude built it. He was obedient. He got the animals and his family. He put them on there. The door got closed. It rained for 40 days and 40 nights. He got off. God made a covenant, and then it was a rainbow, and yay. But studying the word myself, I really got to see the things that, we skim over, like the small details, such as the Lord shut them in.
Yeah.
It says the Lord shut
God closed them in.
He closed them in. And Noah was on the ark for over a year, dog.
Yeah, he was in there for a minute.
It wasn't just the 40 days and 40 nights. And so he went in, and then it stormed and everything. And I'm sure it was rocky and all that. Also, I don't think he knew how long it was going to rain. Right. He just knew
God told me to build it and get in.
Right. Because it's going to rain, which hadn't happened before either.
That was the first time.
So
right.
Yeah, that in itself. And then he's he's in there and it stops raining, but the Bible says that he still is on the boat. The water had to recede.
Yep.
And it took a long time for that to happen. I don't know why I thought it was just this poof. God was like, okay, I'm done. And it didn't happen that way.
Nah.
And even as the water was receding, it says that, Noah, he basically used wisdom on knowing when to actually leave the boat.
Yeah.
He sent out a bird.
Yeah.
And then, he sent it out again. And then, and actually he sends out a raven first, then he sends out a dove.
Yeah.
And then he sends the dove back out. He knew how to, he was led in how to operate that period after the storm ended.
Yeah.
And he didn't just kick the door open like your girl would have done. We out.
We out this morning. Let's go.
We out. Let's go. We starting over. Okay. I feel like I can relate to that a lot. And I think it's very funny that that's what I'm studying right now. And that's similar to the season that I feel like we're in.
Yeah.
We're coming out of this hard season. And it's gradual. So I feel like the water is receding right now. And babe, when I tell you I have my bags on, I got Kai over here on this hip. I got some, just a little bit of stuff. I ain't got that much stuff.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you and I'm ready to kick, kick the door down, and we flying out. And everything that I prayed for should be right there waiting for me when the door opens. And after I read that, I felt God really convict me. And I had to put my bag down, and then I had to put Kai down.
Yeah, let him go play.
And I had to go sit down. And and that has been tough because I'm constantly pulling myself back because I want God to answer, and I want him to do something great and big because I know he can. And I've been rocking with him. I've been faithful, and God is saying, I got you. I got you. But you still have to wait. It's still a process after the storm.
You know what's funny? In the boat, he's been in the boat over a year with animals.
Right.
So I know it stank.
It stank.
I know it stank.
That's why I said I got my bag. I'm ready to go.
And it's one window.
One. And it ain't even a big one.
It's not a big window.
Yeah.
Just so you can look. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. That's all you could do is just look out that one
And they
window.
had to wait.
And they had to wait.
Days. Weeks. Months still. He had to wait.
Yep. And it's crazy that it took the water longer to recede than it did to fill the earth.
It did.
We're talking over a year for it to recede, pass away, be absorbed into the earth. But it rained for only 40 days.
Yeah. Man, that's a whole word. When I tell you that, I've just been sitting with that since I read it. And I love when the word does that. When we allow ourselves to see God in in the word. Like sometimes you walk away and you're like, ooh, I see how this applies to me right now. But that doesn't happen every time. And I don't believe that every story in the Bible and everything that you read is supposed to be like applicable right now, like, match it to my life. But I love when I can walk away from the word and I can see God, or I can see how God spoke to me, whether it be about my situation or about him or something else. So like I said, it's humbling, but definitely has been helpful. Yeah. How do you feel?
The same.
You ready to go?
Well, when I say the same, not the same as you, but as the same as I did before.
Oh,
because I'm still working. I'm still moving. I'm still all over the place. I'm still trying to make something happen. I'm still following the leading of the Lord. But I do have a lot more peace because I'm like, the house is stabilized. At least at the bare minimum.
Yeah, my
house is good. But now I'm like, okay, how can I get us, out of the red and back in the black? What do I need to do? And so I do feel some of the same sentiments whenever you said that you were like at the door and you like, yep, let's do it. So I guess I want to walk that back because remember the thing that happened this week that I moved too fast in, and I had to call you and apologize and repent, blah blah blah, because I moved too fast because I was like, okay, bet we good, we got this, bet boom boom, and it was like
that wasn't it.
It wasn't it. It wasn't it. And so me too. I had to put my little bag down and go on and sit down.
Go sit down.
Go on and sit down.
Yeah.
But in that, I'm still grateful for God's grace.
Yeah.
And His mercy. But this hard season has taught me more about God than it did about myself.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
I mean, I've learned some things about me, but I learned more about Him than I did about me.
For sure.
Because I've always been aware of my tendencies, but the more that I became aware of God, the more my tendencies, I had them, but didn't really matter. But I was more like, wow, God, even if I make good decisions, even if I make bad decisions, even if I do this or if I do that, the fact that you're still here, that you're still present, that you still lead me, you still guide me, that you still show grace and mercy. I've been so much more in awe of who God is than I have about the storm that we've been going through. So if I could take away one thing, it would be for sure that I've learned more about God through this experience than anything else.
I can echo that. I think for me, it would be, I feel like I grew closer to God, more specifically. Like I learned about Him, but my faith was strengthened. And this situation forced me at His feet. Like I had to stay there. And I learned, like, I think I've talked about this before, but we laugh, at the prayer warriors. We call them the name prayer warrior, and it's funny, or like, the mothers of the church and stuff, and the people, they say, you better use your sword. You better use that word. I learned what that means.
Yeah.
I learned how to war for real. I had to learn scripture because when the enemy coming at me, like, that's all I had.
That's all you, yeah.
And especially when he's saying stuff that's kind of sort of
actually true. It's actually real.
You're right. My accounts are negative. I don't know. Lorian doesn't have any gigs coming in. I don't have any photography gigs coming in. So you're right. I don't know when my next money's coming. So it do look like God has forsaken me. And you're right. We ain't got nothing to eat.
We ain't got nothing.
So I'm gonna have to hit up this food pantry And I know that they're not gonna have exactly what, like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to be funny, but it's not what I want.
Right.
It's just,
We
but
gotta eat.
it's substance,
Yeah.
right? So like in those moments, or when it's like, I thought you've been praying and God ain't heard you.
Mm-hmm.
Or I thought y'all used to give and help people. Ain't nobody thought about y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Like in those moments. And then when it felt like I want to turn on my husband,
Mm-hmm.
maybe he ain't hearing God right. Maybe he ain't doing it right. Like he peaceful and all, but he ain't doing something right. Like, all of those times I had to learn
Mm-hmm.
how to carry myself through that, because my pastor can only do so much. My husband can only do so much. It comes to a time where it's like, okay, are you serious about this faith walk?
Mm-hmm.
It's got to get ugly, and you
Yeah.
got to have this connection with God, and it has to be strengthened. And so I was forced to stay at the feet of the Father, and I
Yep.
learned who he was, like, yeah, I sing the songs, he's Jehovah Jireh, but no, I saw
Yeah.
Jehovah Jireh.
Yeah, dog.
I
that
understand
will preach.
Jehovah Rapha. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I understand those names for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I just got chills. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so I've said this before, not something that I would pick this season.
I would not pick
I
this.
would not, in the lineup, I would never choose this. But I'm walking away with some really rich things that I know are going to help me as a woman, as a mother, as a wife, and as a future first lady.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Who I was talking to Steven. I was talking to Steven the other day. What up, Stevie?
Stevie.
But in our conversation, I was, telling them about our situation in its entirety. And one thing I said was, it's one thing to preach about it, but it's another to live it. Just saying,
Oh, yeah.
you know what I mean? Like saying, God is your provider. He's going to take care of you. Blah. He's always going to come through if you need him, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You got to trust
He's your
that
peace, Jehovah
he's
Shalom.
this. All of that stuff. All of that is good.
It sounds good.
But I realized that even though I was saying those things, they didn't really carry a lot of weight.
Mm-hmm.
But now when I talk about it,
Oh,
I got something back in that.
yeah.
I
know what I'm talking about.
I got the receipts. and so when I speak it, I'm not just speaking it because I read it and I studied it in scripture.
Yeah.
But I can put what I read and study together with what I experienced, not just physically, but in the spirit.
Yeah.
So, like, I learned how to war in the spirit differently.
Mm-hmm.
I learned how to navigate and lead a family differently. Like, I was always good about putting my family first, taking care of my family, blah, blah, blah. But when you have a 1-year-old saying applesauce, and you got $3 in your bank account, what do you do?
Bro, I'm about to cry. Yeah.
Like that, I'm getting emotional thinking about it.
Yeah.
And he's pointing to the pantry.
Yeah.
And I have to decide, what am I going to do with these last $3? Am I going to go to the store and get him a pack of applesauce? Not because he deserves it, but he's won. And he just wants some applesauce.
And he's not letting it go.
And it's like, or do I take it and do I go put that last $3 in the gas tank?
Mm-hmm.
Like, real things that you can't, you couldn't make that up.
Yeah, you can't preach about
You can't
just because you made that.
Just because you made that story up, little Johnny, blah, blah, nah.
Or even talk about somebody else's experience.
Nah, but when you live that,
yeah,
and your son pointing to the pantry saying applesauce, 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 it's a constant reminder of what you don't have.
It plays with your mind.
And it plays on your mind. It messes
Yeah.
with your psyche. It messes with your nervous system.
Yeah.
It messes with your spirit. And, you know, if you're not in the right frame of mind, you start taking your frustrations out on the 1-year-old.
Yeah.
When all he wanted was just some applesauce. He's not nagging. He's not making fun of the situation. He doesn't know any better. He just wants applesauce.
Yeah.
And I couldn't afford to get my son applesauce. And I'm thinking, I got more degrees than a thermometer, experience in all these different places, and I can't get a job.
Can't get a job. Like what?
I can't get a job. Or, you know, I say, all right, God, I'm gonna humble myself, and I'm gonna start doing Uber Eats. I signed up for Uber Eats, but then I realized in order to get started, you need gas. So I'm stuck there. Maybe, you know what? I'll do something like Amazon. I'll go deliver packages. They didn't have no positions open. And it's like, God, I can't do anything except depend on you. I'm not lazy.
Mhm.
I'm not lazy. I promise I want to do something. I promise I want to work. God, I can't even tithe anymore.
Yo.
And I don't miss. I tithe.
I have nothing to give.
And I
literally.
have nothing to tithe. I can't even give you an offering.
Literally, the Lord shut you in.
Literally.
I'm thinking about Noah.
And I ain't even
shut us in.
Yeah. So when I talk about I know God, I understand something now.
Yeah.
I see him differently. I appreciate him so much more. And whenever I read scripture, I stop looking for myself and I start looking for him.
Yeah, that's good.
I start looking for God. Because in our society, you know, to your point that you were saying, we're always looking for the practical application. So just some advice for you guys. If you're reading scripture, stop looking for you.
Yeah.
Because you've made the word of God about you. Start looking for God. And when you look for God, it'll change your perceptions about his word. It'll change the way that you feel about his word. Because when you start looking for you, you've made it all about you. And that's how many of us live our lives. How can I do this? How can I get out of this situation? How can I make sure that this doesn't happen? But I've learned that I cannot just only depend on God when I don't have anything, but I have to depend on him when I have everything.
Yeah, that's so good. And I don't know if I don't think I ever shared on the podcast, but I did open up we've talked about where we were, but like I ended up opening up and sharing that on social media because I couldn't shake it. Remember, I was telling you, and I even tried to rope you in, and I was like, come on, like, can you make a video too? And you're like, baby, this is all you.
It's you.
God was really on me and pressed me on that. And what I found was, it was very hard to be so open and to share where we were and the things that we went through. But I was so encouraged by the people. People blessed us financially.
Yeah.
But that's not what encouraged me the most. It was hearing how they were blessed. They saw God in our story.
And some of them were going through the same thing.
And some were going through the same thing. You would never know. And I was like, this is what it's about. God said we should, we're supposed to reflect him. That's literally our job. Like, if people don't see him working through us, then they don't see him. And if we don't talk about it, then nobody knows. Yeah. And so I was so encouraged, and that helped me to keep going and to be open about where we were. It wasn't for likes or anything like that. It wasn't for sympathy points. And I believe that people really saw my heart. And so, again, I wouldn't have been able to talk about that had we not been going through what we're going through.
Yeah.
So this season has definitely been one for the books. We called it the year of the Ravens.
Man, the year
This
of the
marriage year was the year of the Ravens.
Ravens. Good God.
We lived by ravens. God
Yeah.
sent us ravens. That's how we literally made it.
Yeah.
And so we're not fully out, but
Mm-mm.
there's some relief because you have a job.
Mm-hmm.
To glory be the God. To God be the glory.
I mean, glory be to God, but yeah.
Okay, in my mind I don't know what I said.
Just never said it that way before.
And it's not the income that we need. As we've said before, the math don't math.
It
Like
don't
it
math.
literally, if you looked at his salary, you'd be like, but y'all expenses are this.
Or double.
And so we would be like, still living by faith.
Yeah.
But so that's why we say, you know, we're definitely not in the clear, but there's just been to have something coming
At least
in.
I could work with something.
Something, you know, when you had nothing, it was like you're depending on ravens. You don't even know like when the raven coming, if the
Man.
raven's coming, did he die?
Right.
Did he get lost?
Stop at the wrong house.
He get confused. Like,
Where he at?
but at least you know, there's something coming.
Right.
So, and I believe that this is not the end.
Yeah.
I believe we're literally in transition
Yeah.
on our way out
Yeah.
of this
Yeah.
season.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have so much more grace toward the children of Israel.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I didn't
when they
think about
got,
that.
quail
Yeah.
and manna day.
I
by
understand
day.
that.
I understand it.
I literally
now.
understand that.
And I could even see why they would get mad at Moses.
Yeah.
Like, bruh, when I was in jail, I was
I-
locked up in bondage. I mean, I was locked up, but at least I ate
I was
when I
eating
wanted
good.
to. At least I could, make something shake.
Yeah.
But I'm out here in the desert and I'm free, but
Yeah.
I can't operate the way that I want to. I have to literally depend day by day by day. And our society, we're so caught up in we gotta take preventative measures and we gotta get ahead and we gotta plan. And there's nothing wrong with planning, but when we reach a point where we're planning and God's not a part of the plan,
Mm-hmm.
we start to idolize our plan more than his grace,
Mm-hmm.
more than his daily blessings or his daily quail and his daily manna. So I've learned to plan on one hand, but leave grace for the plan to change. And I think this is how I started the season off, or we started the season, just walking open-handed.
Mm-hmm.
I have something in mind.
And pivots, right?
Yeah, pivots and perceptions. But if something were to change, I'm not going to get mad. I'm not going to let the change throw me off my horse.
Mm-hmm.
And I stop moving and I get upset. I'm just, okay, it's changed.
Mm-hmm.
So God, since you allowed this change to occur, where do I go now? What do I do?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still working at it. It's hard.
It is very hard because we're going through another one right now.
Yeah.
With our broke roommate.
Yep.
And it has thrown us both off.
Man.
Y'all.
Because y'all boy Kai,
Y'all's
nephew, so we took Passy away. So we're trying to make him grow up a little bit so he can learn how to self-soothe without his pacifier. And for some reason, when we take away his pacifier, he acquires a new skill of becoming an escape artist. So now he is jumping, crawling out of his crib now and opening the door.
And he opens doors now too.
Like,
mind you, he just turned 2.
He just turned 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Mel said when they turn 2, it's like they get this new access code. And I was like, that is the truest thing I have ever heard. Like, that's literally what has happened to him.
Yep.
So, yeah, he climbs out of his crib and opens the door and he last night he decided he was
Mm.
going to come to our room. And so we're not getting sleep because he's waking up at 4 a.m. and ready to start the day.
Ready to start the day.
Also not taking his naps.
Mm-mm.
He either screams through the whole nap time and doesn't go to sleep, or he climbs out of the crib and doesn't take a nap. So send help, send tips.
Yep.
And that has altered our sleep schedule. It's altered.
Tremendously.
We're planners. We're routine people. Our child is a child of routine. And so we mess
with his routine.
He took it too far. Okay.
He did.
He's taking it too far. And so you talking about, learning how to pivot and learning how, okay, God, what do we do? Even in that, we have to look to God.
Yeah.
And that's something that I'm having to do. And it's really, really hard because I'm a person of control and routine and order. And I am irritated that he has thrown off my schedule. Like, I'm not trying to get up at that time.
No.
I need my time before you wake up, or, I need that nap time because I'm here all day with you and I need a break. Like,
and you're pregnant.
And I'm pregnant. Like, sometimes I need the nap or I just need it to be quiet. And so, every day has been a little different.
Yeah.
Like, he'll tell me, you need to get up earlier or you need to get up now. Or, today you need to push and do these things. And like, it's throwing off everything. And I don't like it.
Yep. Yeah. And, your husband's at work all day.
Yeah. That's new.
Mm-hmm.
That's very new.
Yeah. So, pivots, man.
Yep.
Walking open-handed.
Yep.
And being able to just, all right, God, what do I do now since this has changed? What do I do? So, y'all, we got a lot happening. A lot of changes, a lot of transitions. And, one of the biggest ones is, and we've talked about this a lot, but with the transitioning of the church. And if y'all don't know, for those of you who do, my parents, they're stepping down as pastors and elevating myself and Jasmine to take over the church as pastors. And that's happening, this year. And, truth be told, it really has already happened. It's just not on paper.
Low key, yeah.
It really has happened. And that in and of itself is like, it's so crazy. We're having a kid and then taking over somebody else's. That's what it really feels like. Feels like we having like twins or something this year.
We are. Because we're shepherding these people.
We're leading we're leading people.
And taking care of like the church, like literal maintenance of the church. You know what I mean? Like literal things that people, you don't think about.
Yeah. Yeah. And so being able to oversee a ministry, it comes with its own challenges and graces. It does. But, in a positive light, we're appreciative of my parents, and first and foremost, my parents, for being able to see us in that light.
Yeah.
And to see us as responsible enough and God-fearing enough to step into their shoes.
Yeah.
And the ministry, they love us.
Yeah.
Which is so
That's a plus.
It is a plus, and it's grateful.
And we love them.
Yeah. Love them to death.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't always happen like that for a lot of pastors.
That's true.
New pastors stepping in. Well, when such and such was here, we did it this way.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Or, we didn't pick you, but
we didn't pick you. But you are a new pastor.
But you are a new pastor. So, this transition, it really hasn't been a bad one.
No.
It's been a good one. It's been a peaceful one. In spite of what we've had going on personally.
Yeah.
So I'm really appreciative and thankful for God and allowing at least that to be okay, that to be done well. And I'm happy that my parents get the rest. I'm happy that my mama don't have to worry about the church as much.
15 16. I can't remember how long they've pastored. Long time, child.
What is it? 2010. So 14. So 14 years. 14 years as pastors, but they've had their own. My mom has had her own ministry.
Yeah.
Prior to stepping out as a pastor, but yeah. So I'm appreciative. I am. I'm appreciative of it. I really am. And I don't know. Did you have something to say before I was going to say something?
No. Well, I'll just echo so it doesn't seem like I don't agree, but I look at it as an honor to be a pastor, pastor's wife. Like you said, it comes with its own challenges. Yeah. It comes with its own graces and beautiful moments too. Mm-hmm. And it is a job, and it's something that, how do I explain it? Not every single person does, like not every single person is called to be that. And so, as I mentioned, it's an honor, and I'm grateful to God to be trusted to do that alongside you. Yeah.
And so, with that, we have felt that it was that time,
sad face,
to go ahead and wrap up the Left Hand Gang podcast.
Yep.
And put it on the shelf.
Yep.
Just put it on the shelf. Because I think we've done what the Lord has called for us to do.
I believe so.
And I feel at peace that the Lord was pleased. Mm-hmm. And we did what we needed to do in this season. And, with it being 50 episodes, I just think that's just weird how the numbering just worked that way. Because it wasn't intended. Mm-hmm. But yep, we're officially, putting it on the shelf.
Yeah.
And I said this earlier, it's like we're putting down or leaving one ministry to step right into another.
Exactly.
And so we need the time to prepare ourselves, prepare our hearts and our spirit for the taking of this new journey with being the pastors of Reformation Apostolic Ministries.
Yeah. We also are welcoming our second child in August. And shortly after that, you will be installed, officially and everything in the church. And the way God showed me is Left Hand Gang podcast. We've been released from that, and we did the work for that. We did what we were supposed to do, and that can't go with us to what we're doing now.
Yeah,
we don't have the capacity.
We don't.
And God has graced us, like you said. We were doing back-to-back episode or weekly episodes. We had a grace to do that then.
Yeah.
And then we had a grace, after we had our child, and as he has grown and all that, to figure out when to record and how to do things. And we've made it to 50 episodes. And I mean, it hasn't been like a struggle. Like, it wasn't like, this is so hard.
Yeah.
I mean, it had challenges every now and then, but like, for the most part, honestly, this has been, I don't know how to explain it. I guess nothing is as hard as the season that we just came out of. So maybe that's why I'm saying that. If
you're going to compare it to that.
But I guess what I'm trying to say is we've had a grace to be able to do this thing that we don't have moving forward.
Our grace is
and Left Hand Gang is not gone. The podcast is just
on the shelf.
Because it could come back.
Yeah.
It could stay there. I don't know.
Open-handed.
And what we do believe, though, is that, and it's our desire to, but we do believe that God is going to, allow us to host conferences. We've said this before, and walk in different speaking engagements and do things. And so I look forward to that, whatever that's going to look like, whenever that happens. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I'm really grateful for this journey.
Yeah.
We did a whole podcast
Yeah.
and served people. And this was ministry.
Yep.
And now we're going to do different ministry.
Mhm. Yeah. Yep. And I like that you said we've been released.
Yeah.
Released to, because you know we don't want to, for the sake of, we're gonna keep it going. We don't want to do that for the sake of
No,
tradition, for
no.
the sake of making people happy, or for the sake
Or
of
because we've been doing it.
Because we've been doing it. But when God provides you with the way out, take it. Because what we don't want to happen is this blessing, this gift of the podcast become a burden.
Mm-hmm.
And if we keep going, then y'all gonna
feel it.
Y'all, why they still doing this? Why don't they just let it hang it up?
Yep.
You know. And what I'm learning too is, like, let's not, and this is, I think this may be beneficial to you guys in your personal lives. If God has opened the door for you to leave something, leave it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about getting like a last hoorah or
That's
trying to
good.
leave, on a high note.
Because that's me.
Because sometimes,
Usually.
it's like we gotta, we gotta this one last time, and we're gonna make it this big thing, and we're
Yeah.
gonna just go.
Just go.
Just go. You just go whenever he calls you to go, because you don't know what he has for you to step into next.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that you step into next, it will be bigger, or it'll be different. And you don't want to step into the new thing with the baggage of the old thing. You don't want the blessing to become a burden. So take that with you. But yeah, the podcast is, we wrapping it up, y'all.
The doors are closed.
The doors of the church are closed.
It has honestly been a blessing to do this, and I'm gonna miss it a little bit. We were praying before we started recording. Well, you were praying, baby, and you said, I don't even know what you said actually, but what it made me think about was just reflecting from season 1 to now.
Yeah.
So many things have happened in our lives that we've been able to share. We've learned so much. I'm literally like, things are just popping in my head. Like, we had our first family photo shoot, and we went to marriage counseling, and man, did we glean from that.
Yeah, marriage coaching was
got to share that. We brought in our first child together and learned how to navigate that. We went through the hardest season of our lives together. We've celebrated anniversaries. Like, so many things have happened. It's like, I feel like, when you have a sitcom or something,
they're flashing back to all the highlights.
Yeah. And so I'm taking all of those things with me. I'm taking the conversations that we've had with people that have listened.
Yeah.
I'm taking, the stories that we both have shared that have built us up.
Yeah.
And that people that have come on to the podcast have shared as well. I'm taking everything with me, and I was a little like, it was a little emotional, but not like, okay, never mind, but I think that it's okay to sit in the emotion and to acknowledge that grieving process and to say goodbye to things and still know I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And just because I feel this, it doesn't mean that I'm in the wrong. And so I just want to validate my own emotions, I guess, and say, it's bittersweet. It feels really weird to like turn these cameras off and, not sit here, not do this.
Yeah.
I remember like this was almost like dates for us.
It was
part of our dates, like every such and such day, Friday. I think it was Friday one season, and we would sit here. And so saying goodbye to that that's kind of sad.
It is.
But I'm really excited okay, I want to boost. I'm not gonna say really excited, but I look forward to
Yeah.
what God has next for us, because I actually don't know fully what that is.
Open-handed.
But we do ask for y'all's prayers as we welcome. We didn't tell y'all the gender of our baby.
We didn't, but I mean, if you follow us on any social media,
No,
we
I
didn't put it
never.
out on there.
No,
Oh, I thought we did.
and I realized it because I keep saying, now I'm saying like her name or saying gender, and people are like, "Is it she?" So we're having a girl this time, y'all. We're having a baby girl in August, so we ask for your prayers, just for the rest of this pregnancy and for our marriage, and when she comes, for delivery, for us walking in leadership of a church, you know, all the things with a newborn and a toddler-saurus Rex. Like,
toddler-saurus Rex.
We need all the love and support. And just because we're not recording, it doesn't mean that like we just ghosted and we're off the face of the earth.
We're not accessible.
So you can always still DM us and reach out. And I just want to personally thank every person that has watched, that has shared, that has commented, that has listened, that's given feedback, all the things, who's poured in financially, just literally every single person. I just want to thank you because you helped us to keep going.
Yeah, you did. You know, us as people, we're terrible at goodbyes, but we got to learn how to do goodbyes.
They're necessary.
They're necessary. And
even Jesus had to leave.
Yep, he did. Twice.
That was a good one.
And he coming back. He came back once and then he coming back again. So he left twice and he came back twice.
You're right.
But, you know, echoing everything that Jazz said, we love and appreciate you guys so much. More than you know. And y'all just keep us lifted as we move into the next thing.
Yeah.
We don't know what it's going to look like, but we going.
Yeah.
We going. But it has been a pleasure doing this for the time that we've had. And to dip out episode 50. It's our Jubilee episode. No, right. I don't know what that means, but something good.
You're such a preacher.
I don't know what that means, but yeah. It's our Jubilee episode. Start speaking in tongues.
Get out of there.
Shando.
Get out of there.
Oh man. So, yeah. Anything else?
I don't think so.
Nah.
No.
Nothing?
No.
I need a little bit.
No.
Okay. Well, as always, we love and appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for tapping in with the Left Hand Gang podcast. Yeah. And I would say normally until next episode.
I'll see you next episode, but
you know, until next time, whatever that thing is, whatever that next time
event
is,
thing, whatever
thing you decide to come visit the church, come holler at us. Reformation Apostolic Ministries. But until then, we love y'all and we thank y'all and appreciate y'all. See y'all later. Peace. Thank y'all so much for tapping in with the Left Hand Gang podcast.
Be sure to follow, like, subscribe, and rate us.
And lastly, please don't forget to check out our website. That's lefthandgang.co for merch and ways to stay connected.
Catch you next episode.
Gang.